Oh, oh, I can't. Oh, stop. I can't breathe. Stop.
No.
Oh, boy,
dear.
I think she's actually hurt.
No,
there.
I think she is.
Yeah, she's hurt. She took a hard fall.
I love that clip, but she recovered, so we're not laughing at an actual grave injury here. Tuesday, February 21st, guys. Oh, who's that laughing? Who's that gentle yet sophisticated?
Sorry, that's the best
come from. Who could it be? None other than himself, the inebriated protocol droid himself. Did I say protocol instead of protocol droid? It's him. Drunk People. How you doing, Jay?
I haven't seen that clip in a long time. It's like one of the best clips. That was back when YouTube was like before it is today. Like that clip was like one of the few clips that was making its round, and we didn't know what YouTube was, but we knew that clip, man. That was
yeah, that's like internet 1.0, right? That's like early 2000s or like 15, 17 years. I don't know, something.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Dude.
So welcome everyone. Jeff Johnson. Junk 3PO is in the chat. You're here and in the chat.
Yeah, look at that.
Patrick P, Ruby Jade 90, American Comics Company, Educated Viking, TBG Anime. I haven't seen you in a while, friend. And yes, it is Mel freaking Gibson. I'm telling you, that hair of his, I think that hair impregnated the women on its own. It is so. Who's there with Jay? Let's just Jay. I don't like gloves off, baby. I'm just going right at you. Whose hair are you taking? Rambo Stallone hair or this hair from Mel Gibson? You have to choose right now. Which one?
Rambo, man. I gotta go Rambo.
Hey, right? Oh, but Mel Gibson's so.
It's a tough one, you know. It's a tough
that's
one.
A maid and a half. It's a man. I gotta grow mine. I'm growing mine out. I haven't cut mine since like the summer. Doesn't grow too fast, but
there's something about Rambo, like just shaking with that big gun and the hair's just flopping in the wind while brains are blowing up, man. I don't know. There's something.
I gotta say, I'm very insulted you compare me to Mel Gibson. My hair's a lot better, a lot sexier. You know. But yeah, man, how you doing? Thank you so much for being here.
Bro, it's an honor to be here, brother.
Yeah,
I see my friends. I see Chris, Gaming or What's up? I see y'all in the chat. Big Raj, thanks for stopping by. Patrick, what's up, my dude? I see y'all.
That's a whole lot of people, man. Indeed, yeah. That's moose and elk and deer and every other kind of animal. I know.
Back in the 80s, man, like everybody put they put everything in their hair. Yeah, Jerry curls, moose, hairsprays. You walk around a flame, dude. It was just. Michael Jackson set his hair on fire one time, man.
Right. For those of you that weren't kids in the 80s, you don't know that Michael Jackson's hair caught on fire. Filming a Pepsi commercial, right?
Filming a Pepsi commercial, yeah.
Insane. I'm 44. Do you mind me asking you how old you are?
Yeah, I'm old, man.
Okay.
We about the same.
Okay, so I was just wondering if you have the same like histories and all that.
I always told my child, like the day I ever get to 50, if I'm still in this space, then I'll let everybody know. It's like I made it to 50. So it's been like a guess. Some people think I'm 55, which is cool. Yeah,
that's cool. That's cool. What would it be like to be a 50-year-old YouTuber? I wonder. Like, and you'd been in it for like 15, 20 years at that point. That'll be interesting to see. Like, can you imagine PewDiePie doing like a reactive, like you laugh, you lose, but he's like 63 years old or something like that.
There used to be this thing where people were like, you have a 4-year shelf life on like YouTube, social media, and it's not like that anymore. It's not like, dude, there are people like in their 70s making channels and going live and talking with like beautiful audiences and just sharing wisdom in life. And people, you know, they love hearing it. Yeah. There's a video on YouTube now. It's like called The Wisdom of an Old Man. I think it's got like 14 million views on it.
Really?
You know, it's like it doesn't matter anymore. As long as you can captivate an audience and it's whatever's in your mind, man. Like whatever's in your mind, you know?
Right. Yeah, I think one thing social media has done for people is give us a chance to be authentic. Now, the vast majority, I don't want to go negative here, are fake. Social media is fake. It's all a lie. You know, fake filters, fake this, fake that, fake lifestyles. But when someone is authentic and they're genuine and they're grateful and they're happy, you give off the same energy to me as like a Guy Fieri. And I love Guy Fieri. He seems like such a kind, genuine, generous person who's just like, himself. And maybe he's corny with the blonde hair and
I
whatever
just
and all
like to
that.
laugh,
But
man.
he likes everyone. But the thing that's so lovely about his heart is when he talks to someone, he likes them and what they're about. And he's excited for their little cinnamon roll shop that they opened up 30 years ago. And you strike me as a super positive guy. You know
Well,
what I
that's
mean? And
why I
I'm not,
do that Welcome to Rebellion podcast. And your name, I have a list of names. Your name is on the list because we're going to talk about Marvel and comics and stuff like that. It's just time, dude. Like I'm
oh,
behind.
yeah.
Like I'm supposed to have Chris Pratt's Stunt Double. I have Sword and Scale, my favorite true crime podcast. Your name is on this list. Jane Theory's on this list. I have like a whole list on this dry erase board here.
We'll
That'll
get me there. We'll
yeah.
get me there. I mean,
Yeah,
how long?
yeah.
Yeah, we were gonna hook up, and it was 6 months ago we talked, and finally you're here. And
I know.
I
I'm
get
like,
it, dude.
hey, you want to
I
be
have
on? It's like, and then I got wrapped up in this project, man. And it's like, you want to know what's crazy? Like I was telling you before the show, my respect level for what you guys do and it is shot through the roof. Like I cannot I'm thinking, all right, I got an artist, I got this, we'll put this book together and off we go. No problem. I wish it worked that way. It surely didn't. There is so much it's the little things, man. It's the
right.
little things like I had to find out how much it weighed, how many pages, the printer, like this and that. I wanted and I was like, I learned from you guys over there at the Rippaverse. I was like, I wanted to have it done, like I
Right.
wanted test prints. I wanted to feel it in my hand. I wanted to be
Right.
like, okay, my graphic novel's done. It's done, right? This is what it's going to look like. This is what it's going to feel. This is what the pages will look like. Before I even, put it out there, I just wanted to make sure this is because I was nervous. Like I said, I'd never done this before, and I'm learning as I go. And so many people in this space just reached out, like without me even calling them, and we're like, hey man, I saw you tweeting out stuff. What you need? Do you need help? You need this? We want to see you win. We want to see you succeed. And there is no those are the people you need to surround yourself with, like people that clap, that genuinely clap when you win. Because as you know,
Yeah.
there's a lot of people that will clap when you win, but they don't want you winning because they think you're in their they think you're in your space,
Yeah. There's a certain type of person. Well said, dude. There's a certain type of person, and we don't want to get too negative. That they're resentful. It's a culture of resentment. They're haters, and
Yeah.
they'll look at my success or your success or Ripa's or Ethan Van Sciver, the people that have been just blowing it out, and they look at my success or whatever Ethan's Ripa's you as you stole that from them. Why don't I have that? Why does Jay
Yeah.
have sales? Why does Gabe or Ethan or Eric? Why do they have sales? And it's like, well, the reason I have a ditch is because I dug it. Do you know how hard it
Yeah.
is to dig a ditch? Like, and you said now that you've made a comic, you're like, oh, that is not at all as easy as I thought it was.
Dude, this took me 3+ years.
Right. Right.
And yes, did I take a few months off to because the other thing too, it's and I don't want to discourage anyone. You got a dream, man, go get it freaking done. If it takes you 1 year, 10 years,
right.
It's like I paying for stuff too, like I didn't want to go into debt. And
Right.
so it was like paying an editor to make sure everything looked good. So it's like, all right, I saved enough. I don't want to pay some editor that's like, like no offense, but like you get what you pay for, right? So I wanted to make sure I hired good ones that would catch little tiny things that I might have missed. And it wasn't cheap, but because I wanted to, this, like I said, is my first time. I wanted to have a product that I could be proud of and that people will enjoy.
Yeah.
I know my demographics are not, adult so much, but I still wanted a product that people could read and enjoy, or read to their children, or
Yeah.
whatever, and just enjoy it. Just enjoy a good story. Because my goodness, man,
Well, let's
where are the
touch
good
on-
stories at now? Mainstream has took good stories and flushed them in the toilet. It's like
Well,
they
let's
don't do
talk.
that
Let's dig into that a little bit, because you're talking about wanting to inspire children. We can talk about how the good stories of the old days inspired us. But look at this
Yeah.
comment here, TBG Animation. This is a great fan in my chat all the time. I hope for you, Gabe, and your friends that you forge your own comics line, and and create IPs like DC and Marvel. I'm not sure what the UPS is, but yeah, like you don't have to hope. That's what we're doing in life, TBG and Jay. I'll tell you this: it's not location. It doesn't matter where I am right now. It's direction. Because I'm not going to be where I am right now in 5 seconds. I'm going to keep moving in the direction. So am I growing or am I decaying as a businessman, as a creator, and all that? Well, when you look at what I'm doing currently, if you know everything I'm doing, it's going in an amazing direction. And I'll get that destination. Same for Jay. Okay, he didn't have a book on sale last week. Now he does. It's making money. It's going, and that's just the first one. So we're doing this, and we're creating this new space because Jay and I were talking before the show, and Jay, I want you to expand on this about how inspirational stories are so important. The author C.S. Lewis, he said, we don't tell children stories about dragons to tell them that dragons are real. Children already know dragons are real. We tell children about dragons so they know that they can be defeated. When I left DC Comics, and I won't get into my thing too much, but I gave up.
Oh, I'm going to ask.
Go for it, but this show's about you, so I'll make it quick.
I hear you.
When I walked away from a steady paycheck and that big prestigious work because I disagreed with their morals and their politics, I was scared. And the vision, the literal vision in my head when I was praying to God about it, I'm very Christian. I don't hide that ever. I'm not ashamed of it. The vision in my head that I kept seeing was Indiana Jones in part 3, where he steps on that invisible rock bridge, the leap of faith. And he had to trust God. He had to trust this whole thing to not fall to his death hundreds of feet down. And I remember praying, leaving these comments, I said, okay, God, I'm going to take this step. Don't let me fall. Catch me. And I wasn't even caught. I was lifted up higher because of my faith. And that's how important stories and fables and all this are. They're supposed to be positive and uplifting. They're supposed to show you evil and terror, but show you can.
Hold on. Talk to the chat for 2 seconds.
Okay.
I got a surprise for you. Keep talking. Give
have?
me like 3 seconds. It's right behind me.
So Drunk 3PO, he got very offended at the story I just told him. He has left the show, guys. I don't know what to do. I'll send him flowers. I'll send him chocolate. I'll beg him to come back. Baby, I promise I'll change if you'll just come back. I swear, baby, it'll be different this time. Oh, did he buy it? Did he buy it? Are we back in love again?
Here it is.
Hold on. Let me make you big.
This is your leap of faith, brother, from Indiana Jones 3.
Where'd that come from?
So you bring up Indiana Jones and stories that I am the biggest Indiana Jones head you will ever find. I have all like these old relics from the movies,
right?
All behind me. I don't know if you can see them. There's like the cup of Christ. The stone is back there, like the staff of Ra.
Okay.
Yeah. I even have the original Greek print from the Bible that they used in Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Wow.
So
that's awesome.
It's pretty cool. Like so I have like this really unique Indiana Jones collection. But you're absolutely correct. Indiana Jones was not only him, but it was just a big inspiration. I wanted to be Indiana Jones. And I look at my life now as like being a teacher and traveling the world, and I didn't do archaeology digs, but we've done a lot of cool things around the world, and just being in all these different countries, huge impact on my life. And some of this, and everyone knows, look, Drunk 3PO was a name that started as a joke, and here we are. I just kind of stuck with it because it was kind of funny, but here we are. And even Star Wars, man, you had like people like Yoda dropping wisdom. My favorite thing that Yoda said was, you must unlearn what you've learned. And that, if people really understand what that is, it's like, we all develop a sense of fear, and like, we don't want to be rejected. We don't want to deal with failure. We don't want to deal with these things. And we begin to believe that we're not good enough. And here's Yoda, like, unlearn what you learn, buddy. Like, you are good enough, man. You are worthy of these things. You are that. Like, unlearn it. Unlearn about these fears. Unlearn about failure. Unlearn about stuff like that, and just keep going, And so it's like these stories were so, important, and we can keep going, man, like through Marvel and everything else. Like you said, like these stories are important, and it is lacking today.
Absolutely.
It's lacking today. It's like, where are we? It's all agenda based, and like they take your characters that you love and decide to, let's just change them all up. You know what they just did now? I don't know if you know this. They just took all these classic books from the author. He wrote Willy Wonka.
How do you say Roald Dahl or Roald?
Yeah. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. And it went through a sensitivity panel.
Right.
And so they rewrote those books and took out words such as fat and this because people got their feelings hurt. Even though fat was a description of Augustus, the guy who was eating too much. And that was the moral of the story. If you remember, they're like, don't keep eating and eating and eating, or you're going to be fat like Augustus. Like they were trying to teach these kids, like, don't just eat chocolate all day, man. You're going to have problems. Don't be fat like Augustus. And they're like, we can't have that in our books. So now they changed it to enormous. I don't even know if that's better or worse.
Well, I mean, this stuff needs to be laughed at and dismissed. And, it isn't just irritating. Stuff like that is actually evil. Because I would say to the sensitivity writers and the management over there, whoever decided that this was a good idea, who in the hell are you to think you are on, I don't know how to say his first name. Is it Roald Dahl? Who are you to think you're on his level as an accomplished practice writer? That's one thing about art. People don't respect art because laymen, sorry, they think art is a talent. They don't understand that. Do you think it's a coincidence all of these artists, writers, illustrators, whatever, have been practicing tens of thousands of hours since their childhood? So they were just talented, but they also decided to practice for what ends up being 20, 30,000 hours by the time they're a full-grown adult. There is a talent and a predisposition for art somewhat, but it's likened to being tall. If you're born 6'8", you're going to have an easier time with basketball. But I would say this, most 6'8" people are not in the NBA, so it doesn't get you in there for free. And to think that to have the temerity to rewrite like Willy Wonka and all that stuff, to think you're on the level of this writer, it's really evil. It's actually evil behavior.
Why can't they just write their own stories?
Well, they don't have the discipline or the character, the fiber of being to work hard for all the years to become that good of an artist. So they take Batman or Superman or whatever, and then they put their narcissistic woke on it. But I've emotionally moved past a lot of that and doing what you are doing, what I'm doing, what Ripa's doing, what Ethan Van Sciver's doing is like, you know what? Make my own. Not just going to complain. I won't complain about Willy Wonka. I'll make my own Willy Wonka and it'll be better. So
that's kind of where I was. It was like, Jay, you complain a lot about these stories and stuff. I'm like, all right, I put my money where my mouth is. Here we are.
Right.
So,
and I think that's what infuriates the wokies against like someone like Ripa. I just, and I've had backlash since I left DC Comics too in different ways that have been interesting, but I've overcome it all. My God is stronger than all that, so I don't worry about it at all.
These people are I've never had these people attack me until I put out a book. And I'm not even, listen, Ripa made, you guys over at Ripa, they millions. Ethan Van Sciver, hundreds of thousands. I'm like on 20,000, right? I'm a dot, okay? I'm a little tinkle in this pond of yours, right? And I'm happy that that I got a little ripple, but it's like they've all flooded over to my space now, and they're like, oh, here's another one, let's get this guy. I mean, they were, like you were saying, they were accusing me of like January 6th stuff, and I'm like, what is
they said
blatantly make stuff up
merchandise, right? And
the truth though, maybe it's this is my merchandise, maybe because it's the Gadsden flag. That's I don't know.
You believe in freedom. That's very right wing of you. How far right to believe in freedom? Totally crazy.
Shame on me.
I don't know. It's you say you're a drop in the ocean, and I would counter that and tell you all the ocean is drops. That's the whole thing.
I hear you, brother.
It just drops together. So maybe your drop is currently smaller than mine or Ripa's or whatever, but I didn't start off the way I am. I have right here next to me. Hold on, in this thing. I work in this. This is my office.
Gabe is awesome, everyone.
In the desk right by me.
Gabe is awesome.
These are.
Look at that.
Do you know what these are? These are nothing but rejection letters from Marvel and DC and Dark Horse. I keep them in a drawer by me. These are the same people that paid me hundreds of thousands of dollars to work for them for 15 years. But they rejected me over and I would get multiple rejection letters per week back in the late 90s because I would submit 4 comic book pages a week. I would draw 4, send them. Draw 4, send them every week. And I would get a rejection letter from each company once a week.
I love it.
When people say it's just talent and that's why they don't do it, that's cope. That's people who didn't work hard enough and they resent that you've done something and I've done something. But I don't want to hurt those people or mock them. I want to inspire them and say, no,
Yeah.
no, no. The thing where you thought we were just talented, yes, God gave me some artistic talent, sure. But I'm telling you, even if you don't have much, you can work hard enough to overcome your lack of talent. And you can be a success like me or like Jay or Rip or anyone. You really can. I believe in you. If you want to work hard, I believe in you. Do you believe in that, Jay, or is that too woo-woo for you?
No, man, you gotta like you have a dream, man. If it was easy, everyone would do it.
Right.
And that's the thing. And it's like there's some days where it's like the only gas you got in the tank is the passion that you had.
Right.
You know, because the whole world, I tell people that all the time, like the world they will try to slap you down and knock you down and laugh at you and stuff. And, you know, you have to power through it. Some days are
Right.
like that. And then some days the whole world is smiling at you saying, keep going, man. You're inspiring me.
Right.
And so you just got to take those ups and downs, man. And just like you said, don't look back. Even if you take 2 inches closer to your dream, you're closer than you were the day before.
Well, I would say this, like we're watching Indiana Jones on the bridge, right? And he's real in our minds. It's not real, but it's real. And he's given a challenge. He's given danger, death, falling to the bottom of a rocky chasm. And he sees us watching him. And he's like, I've got to act right. In the face of danger, I have to make the right choice. So in the face of your critics, Jay, in the face of my critics and all that, people are watching us. And we are like Indiana Jones in front of that bridge. And how we act is going to determine how God can use us to inspire people, because that's what art is all about. It's about uplifting people, glorifying goodness is what art is about. It's not about ugliness and cynicism, man. There's enough of that in the real world. Let's get away from it. I love this. Jefferson Roswell says, the fact they're attacking Jay means he's doing something meaningful, truthful, and good. There's a military saying, when you're taking flack, you're over the target. You know what I mean? So
what's up, Nick? I see my man Nick dropping a super chat.
Oh, here we go. Chef Nick Nero for $4.99.
That's my dude right
Doesn't
there.
say anything, but thank you. Very generous, friend. Very generous. Thank you. TBG animation. Gabe is the definition of never give up. John Cena, get the hell out of here. Oh my gosh. Thank you for the compliment. It's only God that gives me the strength to do it. I reviewed John Cena's The Marine, the movie from 2007 with Jericho Green and Sean on my Wednesday night, 7 p.m. channel. Double Impact, the funniest action movie show around. Guys, go check out our review for that. You'll be crying laughing. That movie is an exquisite piece of garbage. Terrible movie. We like to review good action movies, but the John Cena's The Marine, they missed on that one. It was not good. Chef Nick Nero for $2. People on Twitter aren't critics, they're garbage. Well, tell us how you really feel.
I love Nick, man. He don't play games. Chris says this dude rocks, Jay. Glad you're here, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
Amazing encouragement in my life, man. Chris is an amazing encouragement in my life.
Well, Jay, let's talk about this. And Chris, if Jay says you're a good guy, I believe it, because I told you earlier, Jay, your vibe, it's the Guy Fieri thing. Like, you love people and you love positivity. I could just feel it coming off you, dude.
I just think the world would be better if we were all like doing what we love to do. And you know, it'd be less hectic and just, you know, my heart goes out to people that are working jobs that they hate to get to that level so they can do something that they love. Absolutely. And it's like they're the real inspiration for me. Like they're amazing people out there doing that every single day.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's like my hat goes off to you. Oh, my Burn the Boats video.
Shanth and Jetty. He is one of Jericho Green, and him. I keep mentioning the Wednesday night action movie show. He's one of the hosts. The three of us love action movies. Your Burn the Boats video was the perfect video I needed the day you released it, Jay.
Oh, thank you.
Shanth is a great guy and a phenom artist. If you do more projects in the future, Jay, you might want to look this guy up, dude. He was an illustration professor at RISD. That's like the best art school in America, and another school in the Northeast for like 18 years. And like me, he walked away from that career because they were having him teach like critical race theory to painting students and making him teach all this communist nonsense. And he took a leap of faith to God too and said, okay, I'm getting out of that garbage. I'm not going to teach that to kids. Silence white voices. And he's not a white guy. Shanth and Jetty. The dude has one vowel in his first name. He's not a white guy. And he's my brother. I love Sean. Love you, Sean. Thank you for the $5. Very generous, my friend.
Yeah, like since the release, I have gotten many people in this space reach out, say, "Hey man, next time you want to hire someone," I was like, let us know. I was like, I appreciate all the offers. If this book does well enough, then book 2, it's a series of 6. There's 6 total that I put
Okay.
together. This is the first one, and we're just kind of throwing it out there, man. We're like building the world, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what
You can always
happens.
hit me up if you need a little this or that, because I love working with positive people. Because I got sucked into the whole negativity of Twitter and YouTube and like making fun of people and arguing. And I just had this sobering moment a few weeks ago. Like, what the hell am I doing? Like, I'm good at making fun of people, and I'm not proud of that. That's ugly, man. Even if they're wrong, like I kind of didn't like where some of
Sometimes
that
you
was
gotta
going
laugh
with
at
it.
them every now and then. I feel you, man. Usually I'm very positive, and it's just like, let's just keep it moving.
Right.
Just like that burn the boats video. Have you heard that story about
Is this
Cortez?
about the Roman warriors, right? When they would go attack, they would burn the boats, right? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah,
Or?
well, it was the Spanish. Like
Oh,
they
Spanish.
wanted to
Okay.
take over the Aztecs, and like they couldn't do it. They weren't strong enough, and so one of these commanders were like, they pulled up on the island and they set their boats on fire, basically telling their soldiers they ain't no coming back. We either win or we don't.
Win or
So there's
die.
no boats to come back to run away and flee. We either
Right.
win or we don't. So
Yeah.
I'm like, what a military tactic that would. Could you imagine seeing that? You're like, yeah, we've
That's
lost
some
here.
motivation.
Yeah, we've lost here 8 times. All right, Commander, set all our boats on fire.
I
Wait,
don't
what?
remember if it was Tolkien or C.S. Lewis. I like a lot of their quotes, but one of them basically said, you can easily go forward when you realize you can't go back. That's how you get over something, go forward. And I'm paraphrasing. That's not a direct quote, but it's the same concept, man. It's the same concept. So I love that. Do you want to get into your book and tell us
Sure.
where it came from? And then I do want to bounce a little bit with your teaching and children. And I
Sure.
told you I coached Pop Warner and how much I want to inspire kids. But let's bring this up. And guys, I'm going to lead by example. First of all, hold on. Let's see. Do you know how to use StreamYard, Gabe? Here it is. So
I
Achromatic
cannot
Chronicles.
believe we're at 27, man. I'm like freaking. You have no
Right.
idea. I'm freaking blown away by that. That is just. Thank you.
Yeah.
Whoever backed the book, thank you, man. That is that's unbelievable to see.
Yeah.
I mean, it
You're
really is.
doing great, man. That's awesome.
So the story concept came several years ago when I was teaching in the classroom. I was a 5th grade teacher in the classroom for a few years after I left. I was working with a nonprofit over in various countries, but we were building hospitals and stuff in the poor areas of the world. And when I needed to take a break from that, I picked up a job at a second chance school of some rough kids, and was their 5th grade teacher. And one of the papers that was turned in from a student that was like 11 was basically saying that they felt like they had no value in this world. And it wasn't like they wanted to hurt themselves. It was just the surroundings that they have around them, that they're very poor, that their mother was struggling to pay the bills and provide food and shoes. And this student felt like if I wasn't there, then maybe my mom wouldn't have to struggle. Right. And so that's the short story.
Right.
And it just dawned on me. Like I was sitting out, I was sitting at a park. I think, yeah, I was at a park and I had a notebook and I just started writing down this world that we see, this world with Achromatic Chronicles. Basically, achromatic means without color.
Right.
So this world here, this world of these young people where they're not allowed to dream or explore or be kids. They just told what to do and this is that, and not to give too much away. And John develops a unique friendship and takes it, and where he learns that I do have value and I do have purpose in this world.
I love that.
And it's like, it's not for me, it's like it's not, like, holy crap, this is the greatest story I've ever seen. It's simple adventure storytelling with mystery about a boy named John who is Joe average, doesn't stick out, nothing special, feels like he's nothing special, and discovers that no, he has a purpose, he has value. And That's all I could say. That's all I could say. You know, I don't
Well, I
want to
like
give it
that.
away. I want people to enjoy it. I want people to, know that it doesn't end with this book if all things go well. And it's pretty, you know, I'm very proud of what we came up with building the world and things like that. So and that's all it is. I just hope it inspires some young people that it's okay, man. It's okay to be average. It's
Right.
okay. You don't have to be the best at everything. You don't have to be the best athlete. You don't have to be the best singer. You don't have to be the best this. You still have value and purpose in this world.
Right. Yeah. I
And it
mean,
could be bigger than you realize. It could be bigger
oh,
than you realize. You just have to get rid of the lies that you were told that you are not good enough, that you have no value, that you're whatever. And don't turn those lies into truth in your own life and go out and live it, man. Go out and live life. It's beautiful out there,
that's beautiful, man. I
you
really
know?
love that. Let me handle two things, and then I'm going to touch on your book real quick
Yeah,
because I
go
was going to
ahead.
honor the super chat. Wow, Chef Nick Nero. I hope you really are a chef. My father was a gourmet chef
He is a chef and he's
for
awesome.
okay, y'all eating good at my house growing up. I can only imagine. And then on my mom's side, we owned a Mexican restaurant for 50 years, a Mexican restaurant tortilla factory. So I only ate good food growing up. So I love my chefs. I've worked in kitchens. I've done catering with my dad. My dad's an Arab, Muslim. He's from Libya. I'm a Christian. But my dad's best friend are Jewish guys, Arabs and Jews being best friends. And he does a bunch of Jewish catering, like bar mitzvahs and all that. I always found that funny. Like, hey, they can get along. Come on, it's possible, guys. So I like that a lot. Love the Jewish people. Love the food. Nick Nero for $9.99. Seriously though, if you logged off of Twitter, where's the haters? There are none. They are bots. Jay, Gabe, you both did your thing, and you didn't bend the knee. Never bend the knee. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. One thing I wanted to say about this is I think the message you have here is absolutely beautiful. To tell people they can be so much more than they ever thought they could be. That is a wonderful thing that most people never hear nowadays. And it's an important thing for children to hear. I coached a lot of Pop Warner football for years and Little League soccer and all that. And I would always, do my best to give all the kids the attention and coaching they needed. But I remember the kids that weren't good and they were uncoordinated or they were a little chubby kid who was afraid of everything. And I remember one kid, Matthew, biggest kid on our 8-year-old football team, but he was just a little flower. He was afraid of everyone and everything. He didn't want to tackle anyone or hit anyone. And we stayed with him and we stayed with him. And the other coaches were great. And one of the coaches gave him a nickname. You're the M Train and all this stuff. And by the middle of the season, he was our monster lineman. He's
That's
tackling
awesome.
everyone, blocking everyone. And I know those little things like that change the direction of someone's life. Like a silly little Pop Warner team, you change an 8, 9-year-old's life and tell them, oh, I was terrified of that. And I did it anyway, and I didn't die, and things are better. And for you to write this story where this boy thinks he has no value, and he comes to learn that he does, and that he is important, and that he can achieve things and work hard, that is one of the most beautiful things you can tell people. I often try to tell people when I'm counseling them or giving them advice, you can do it. I believe in you. I always try to say those words to people. You can do it. I believe in you. It's hard, but damn it, good things are hard. Things that are worth doing
It
are.
always will be.
Oh my gosh, the chef buddy coming
Look
in
at
again.
Nick.
Nick, you're embarrassing me with your generosity. Thank you, friend. I wrote a poem about a world without color until love is introduced. I write poetry, so what? Want to fight about it? Oh, I write poetry. So what? Want to fight about it? Hey, hey. And it's been a passion of mine. Keep it on the down low. I won't tell anyone. This is going out around the world, though, on the internet. Someone tell Chef Nick how the internet works. And one more, and then we'll get back to the story because I like this comment here. Gray Wolf Graphics. He's 63 and he's had relatives work against him most of his life, made him feel worthless. Trying my best to overcome this stuff. Never got much encouragement growing up. Listen, Gray Wolf, those people that did that bad stuff to you, whatever it was, it isn't your fault. They weren't being thoughtful. They were being selfish, and they were being liars when they told you bad stuff. It isn't true. You're just like me. You're like Ripa. You're like Jay. You're like any of these guys you love out here. You can do everything we're doing. If you put in the work, you will do it, dude. Just like that M Train kid I was talking about. Now, you're my elder. You're 20 years older than me, but you can do it, man. Fake news. All that shit they told you, fake news. Because I had it. People told me stuff, and I didn't really have a dad around growing up. And the feelings I had, I know what you're saying, Gray Wolf. And it wasn't true about me, and it ain't true about you. So,
yeah, man.
Don't believe it. I
Push
believe in
through,
you. If no
man.
one else does, I believe you will succeed if you get rid of those ideas and realize that didn't happen to you because there was something wrong to you with you. It happened to you because people were being selfish. That's why it happened. So it's their fault, not yours. So Jay, I've talked enough for a little bit.
Oh no, you're
I
good, man.
love the concept that we're doing here. Drunk 3PO. And what is he's John? Is his name?
Yes.
Okay. And you have
But you meet a bunch of other characters, so
okay. What would you, in the loosest way, and I'm putting you on the spot here, liken it to? Like when they pitched Star Trek, the TV show in the 60s, they said it's wagon train in space. What would you, if you had to do your little Hollywood like mashup of different concepts, what is this like? Like what can people expect? Is it like Dragon Ball? Is it like Care
um
Bears? Like what is it like?
so some of the readers that got it early, they made somewhat, um I guess I'd say somewhat of the comparison of the movie The Giver.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever seen that film. It's an older film, but it takes a hard turn left. Like once it gets to like, as you can see, like it starts in a world with no color. I don't know what I would compare it to. When I wanted to get the artwork done, I was just looking for a specific style. I wasn't looking for. I was just looking for a specific style. I had many artists send me stuff, and the one that we went with, her name is Lily. She's the main artist. She's from Hawaii, and she lives in Hawaii. She's Hawaiian,
Okay.
and it's exactly what I was looking for. Is
Right.
like the vision I had in my mind, and I just for me it's just like it's an adventure of someone trying to like figure out who he is, and why is he even here? Like why am I even here? And I know a lot of people ask those questions to themselves all the time. Like, am I
Right.
just here to live? Am I just here to like wake up and go to work and go home and
How
watch the
sad.
news and go to sleep and
No,
repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and
no.
repeat? And it's like, and so those are the same questions that he has. And a lot of people have those questions at all ages. So it's like, oh, this is something bigger for you. There's something bigger for you.
I
And
love it.
you gotta
Um,
discover it. So
so guys, I'm gonna put the link really quick in the chat. So you can click that and you can go check this out. And I believe in leadership. I do, and I believe in leading by example. So do you know what I did? Do you know what I just did? I am backer number 367.
oh
So
dude.
if I can do it, let me hit the refresh here. If I can do it, you can do it. See, we
Oh
jumped
my
up. We
gosh,
jumped
look at
up some,
that.
huh? Let's go. Let's go.
Thank you, brother. Dang,
Yeah,
man,
we're
that's
moving up. We're
awesome.
moving up.
Man, I hope you
Yeah,
enjoy it, man. I hope
yeah.
you enjoy it.
You know,
I hope you enjoy it for what it is. I hope you enjoy it for what it is. And yeah, I'm very proud of it. I'm very proud of what we did. And I at the end of the day, no matter what, when we finally ship these things out in July, we're hoping it'll be July, that people will just enjoy it for what it is, and they'll want the second one. They'll want more. Like that's all you could
okay.
ask for. It's all you could ask for. Again, like this is I could do a series of videos on how I just got to this point.
Right.
Because it was it
Well,
was
this morning you
more.
told us you were overseas teaching. Do you mind saying what country you were in, or?
Oh no, so before I was a school teacher,
Uh-huh.
I was doing a lot of humanitarian work. So basically,
Okay.
my job was to lead. I brought a lot of like so I would basically I was like it's hard to explain, but basically like I was after the earthquake happened in Haiti. I was
Right.
literally living there for like 3 years. I was going back and forth from the States, and I was in Haiti, and I was bringing teams over. I'd bring construction teams over. We'd build schools. I would bring doctors over, and they would treat people.
Oh
And then from
wow.
there, people would call, and they're like, "Hey, you've got a lot of experience. Would you mind taking people to India? Would you mind taking people to the poorest places all over? I've been all over the world twice, and Africa. You almost name it. I've maybe been if they're in the poverty line, then I've been there. And
Okay.
and so we did a lot
Well,
of
let's
work with
let's back up.
orphanages and
Hold on.
stuff.
Let's back up a
Yep.
second. What inspires this in you? What informed it? You growing up with
When I
your
was in college,
parents, or what got you
no,
into this?
when I was in college, I moved to South Florida, and I started college, and there was of course, it was a girl, and like, but there was a group that was going to Africa, to Kenya, and
Okay.
to Nairobi, a place in Nairobi, Kenya, and it was part of a college thing, and it hardly cost me anything, and so I was like, sure, I'll go, whatever, and off we went, and it was a hard lesson to learn, to see people live that way, to eat what they could eat, it was very hard for me to see. I'm
Right.
looking at people eating once a week while I'm staying at a hotel about 10 miles away eating at a buffet.
And you're complaining about the buffet, right? Oh,
You
they're
know what
out of
I mean?
sausage,
And
like
so it was like that to me like opened my eyes to a bigger purpose in this world. And so when I got back, I went through some training, and I was going to go back to Africa, and I was going to do some work there. It was going to be like 4 months out of the year and come back to the States. And I thought that was going to be part of my life. And then the earthquake hit in Haiti in 2010 in January. And of course, being in Miami, Haiti is an hour and a half flight.
right.
So the call went out, and they were like, hey, you've had training. Do you want to go with a group of us? We're going to bring food and water. It's an emergency. It's like you'll probably be sleeping in a car or on the ground. I was like, yeah, no, I can handle it. No problem. So we flew into the Dominican Republic, and that first bus ride over into a country that lost 350,000 people in 30 seconds was I
Yeah.
can't describe. I'm not going to go into detail. It was
There's no way to describe
I
it.
literally like, and I'm not ashamed to say this. I literally years later I had to go to counseling
Of course.
to help understand these things that I saw as far as
Right.
like death and destruction and children and all that stuff. And so I went there thinking I would just be there to help for a few weeks, and then a few weeks turned into month to so and so, and long story short, it was like I began to learn the language and the culture and the places, and people were like, "Hey, you know how to get here?" Like, and that's just how it was.
Wow. That's
So
amazing that you would go to something so traumatizing and harrowing and be inspired to press further into it instead of like, oh, I don't ever want to go back and see that. That is really says a lot about your character. Let me address this really quick. Jefferson Roswell,
oh
backer
man, thank you.
371, backed one copy for my kids and one copy to donate to my kids' school. That's how
Okay,
you do it, Jefferson. Thank you.
can I speak on that? If you look at one of the tiers in the Indiegogo project, there is a buy one, give one. If you scroll down, I think it's level 3. And there it
There it is.
is. And then if you go down, like I think that's also level 5. There's also, or level 6, there is a charity one as
Uh-huh.
well. So I've contacted many local. I start here locally in Orlando, and there's Boys and Girls Club. I don't know if you guys know what Ronald McDonald houses are. That's where
Yeah.
they help parents with very sick children. And I wanted to give my book to people that can't afford it. So I contacted them. I said, hey, I've got these books that I've written. They're safe. There's nothing like you could check them and all that stuff. I was like, can I drop them off? I know there's a lot of kids, at least in Orlando. I don't know how it is in other cities. A lot of kids that go to Boys and Girls Club, they're on the poverty line, because school's over. They go to Boys and Girls Club. They get tutoring there. They wait. I've volunteered there many times before. And so I just want to get these in the hands of some young people that maybe it will help them. And you can be a part of that. You can help me do that. I'm
Yeah.
gonna like vlog it, man. I'm gonna vlog it and show everyone. It's like, hey, let's just do some good while we're at it. This is bigger than me, and maybe we can get some good stories back in these young people's hands, because all you got to do is go on social media and see the kind of crap that they're
No.
pushing and that they're putting in some of these libraries and stuff for like third graders. So it's just something that I felt like I wanted to do, and we're going to we're gonna show the world, man. It's like, this is how
I
you
love
do
it.
it. You can make
Well,
books for people to enjoy, but we could also give them to those that can't afford it, and maybe they'll be inspired, and let them know that, yeah, you might be poor, but you have a purpose in this world.
right. Right. That's awesome, man. That is a beautiful thing. And I
So
think
yeah,
I have to paraphrase because I can't remember the quote, but it's Martin Luther King saying, that hatred is not going to drive out hatred. It's like love is going to drive out hatred. It's
yeah,
Gandhi or MLK. I forget. Um, But I think this is right. You know, we get all mad and if we fight and insult on Twitter, and I quit doing that like 2 months ago. I just had enough of it. I check Twitter for like sports scores now, basically, and for
I check
DM.
Twitter for stupid, like, you know what I watch Twitter for? I follow like those fail videos. I don't know. I have a terrible
Right.
sense of humor where like people like slip and fall. It's awful. Just like the video you showed at the beginning of this live stream.
You mean this one?
Hey, stop! Oh, oh, I can't. Ow, 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 oh, stop.
I'm the one that added the sad coming down there, though.
I'm a terrible person. That is the funniest thing.
You could tell that woman never had the wind knocked out of her growing up. Like I did and you did. Like playing street football, you're 9 years old, you fall and you're like, I want my mom. Like, but yeah, that's
Pretty funny.
But what I wanted to say was the hatred is not going to drive out hatred. There is a time to get tough and defend yourself. Always follow the law. There is a time to fight and defend yourself for sure when you're being
absolutely
attacked. Someone is metaphorically on top of you, you must defend yourself. That's justified. But I think putting love out, these charity books and stuff like that, and being positive and being fun and helping people achieve things, I think that's a much better antidote to all the negativity. And I do think it's great that guys like Ripa, you, and then me, and then all the other Comicsgate guys like Ethan Van Sciver, instead of just complaining about the evil that Marvel and DC have done with so many of these legacy characters that weren't even created by these woke people, by the way. You're damaging stuff you didn't even make, guys. Shame on you. Shame. Instead of just always nagging and being mad at those people for the evil that they do, let's do this instead. Let's make nice stuff, alternative stuff, better stuff. And instead of just always talking about what we hate, let's celebrate what we love and why it's good. Why Indiana Jones crossing that bridge was so important for me in my life, and obviously you and yours, Jay. And let's make stories just as good. Let's aim really high and say, I can make something that inspiring. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and like hopefully, you know, inspire others to help people that are in need as well, you know, and we all just take a little few steps into that direction, the world just becomes beautiful. I always looked at the world as like a really beautiful, expensive vase that somebody dropped. Right. And if all of us stop for a moment and just put some of the pieces back together, eventually we might be able to get that vase back. It might not look the same, but we could put it back together where we could say, hey man, we put ourselves together and put it back, you know, this broken world that we live in. And you know, maybe we can put a few pieces back together, you know, and see some of that beauty that we might have lost. So
I think this about what you're saying about that, its attitude is everything. That's an old saying.
yeah.
Attitude is everything, and I realize that gratitude is like one of the most important things you can have. And as a Christian, it's like I realize everything is a miracle, and I love science. Who doesn't? When you think about the probability of any of this happening, that in the Watchmen comic book from DC Comics from the early '80s, there's a chapter where what's her name, Sally Jupiter, I forget which one, she goes to Mars to talk to Dr. Manhattan, and nuclear war is imminent on Earth, and she's like, you've got to come back and save it. He's like, humans, worthless, stupid, all this stuff. He doesn't want to come back and save it. And by the end of that chapter of the book, he realizes what a miracle each human life is. He's like, the fact that your mother met your father, fell in love, 200 million sperm, you're here, you survive, you're here talking to me, and then go back, mother, grandmother, great-grandmother, grandfather, and go back hundreds, thousands of generations. And then you think 200 million sperm per time of, you know, having sex, the odds of any two people even existing, let alone falling in love, it's a number we can't comprehend. And when you realize what a miracle each life is, you're humbled. You're humbled by, like, it's a gift. Like, it shouldn't even be. The fact that you're here and I'm here, that we know each other and we're helping each other and promoting each other and helping to make people's lives better, like, that's amazing. But I get granular about gratitude. Like, I'm thankful. The first thing I do when I wake up in the morning, right before I get out of bed, I pray and I thank God for everything. And and it sounds silly to people, but I like think of something that is like in my life right now. And I'm like, thank you for my blanket. Thank you for my feet.
That's so funny you should say that.
Thank you for my toothbrush. And then I get serious. Thank you for my wife and my granddaughter. And like, but I like, everything's a miracle, dude. This hat, it's a miracle. Like,
that's so funny you say that, because people always ask me, they're like, how do you start turning? Because I wasn't always like this. It was like 6-7 years ago. And I started small, but I remember hearing someone say this, and I applied it. Every morning I woke up, I found 3 things to be thankful for. Like you said, like even if it's just a toothbrush, even in my lowest point, I could still find 3 things in the morning
Right.
to be thankful for. Even if you just got down to I'm drinking a glass of water from the sink, I'm thankful for that, and
Right.
it's like once you get into these habits, like once you get into these habits of yeah, being thankful, the world just starts to look different. The
I
world is it really is a beautiful place. You can find the garbage, you can find the ugliness, you can find
right.
that's easy to find. It's when you really go out, like today, before this example today, there's a park about 10 minutes from my home. And today I was like, I'm just gonna go there and walk for like 2 hours. And it's all by a lake.
Right.
It's just like you just gotta stop and just there's alligators there and turtles and birds and everything. It's just so beautiful, man. Like no phones, no microphones, no nothing. And it's just like life is good, you know.
Yeah.
Life is
It,
good. So
it's a
enjoy it.
miracle.
It's out there. You don't have to go far. It's out there.
Are
So
you, and I'm going to get back to the gratitude because I find this concept beautiful and fascinating. Are you by chance a New Englander of any sort?
no, I was born in Washington, DC and went
Because
straight to
I keep hearing like had, like I've heard
could be
that A.
Miami. It could be my Miami.
What is the Miami accent? What is that? Like, what do they got down there? I don't know the
Like
accent.
Cuban, Haitian. We've
Okay.
we've got a
Well,
flavor of
can
everyone.
I ask you your ethnicity? I'm half Mexican and half Libyan, so I'm an Arab Mexican. Figure that one out. Can I ask
Well,
what you are?
according to 23 and Me, it's some white boy and some Cuban. So
Okay. Oh, cubano. So hablas
yeah,
español.
poquito.
Okay. Poquito, como un
I
güero
know
tonto.
enough to order food and go to the
Uh,
bathroom.
okay. Estoy aprendiendo español con mi esposa. So
Oh,
I'm practicing Spanish with my wife. My wife is Mexican,
I was just
and
in
Native American
Mexico.
too. She
Yeah.
grew up on the one of the Indian reservations here in San Diego. She's very Mexican, much more so than me, and I've always been like half fluent in Spanish, so she's teaching me. But so
The,
I've never
the
been to Miami. I've never been there. I
Oh,
went
dude,
to
I miss it because I miss the beautiful thing about Miami. It's overcrowded now, but Miami, I had certain places that had those. It had every flavor of the Caribbean,
right.
and they had all these mom and pop shops
Oh
where it was
wow.
like it was like grandma was cooking for you, and it's no chain restaurants. It's like there's Pete's, there's this person, there's a
Right.
taste of Haiti, there's a taste of Cuba, there's a taste of Puerto Rico, and you go in, there's nothing special about it, but the food was incredible.
Oh,
So it's like it's one of those things, but like learning Creole in Haiti, I think it messed a lot. It messed a lot coming back to the States, because it's like uh you pronounce it's always like it used to go like it was really bad at one point. Like it would go back and forth. And I live in Orlando now, so I'm like around Disney and all those things. And it's
right.
like the cool thing is like they hire a lot of Haitians.
Oh,
And so one of the days I was at Disney World because that's what I do for Geeks and Gamers. And there was a lot of people with me, and there was a Haitian working there. And I said, watch this, watch this. I was like, y'all watch me. I'm gonna speak a different
okay.
language. You're not gonna understand it, but this person is. And so Creole is like a French Spanish dialect.
Right.
And so I asked her, I was like, hello, do you have like a pretzel with cheese? And she just was like, she's like, I
She
never heard a white man speak my language before. And so
nice.
I kept going a little bit, and I was like, I'm a little rusty and things like because I haven't, but when you're in the middle of it, when you're in that country, it's like that's all you hear,
Right.
you pick it up faster. And she's just like, just take it, man. Like, I don't know if this is real or a dream.
That's awesome.
It's so funny, and so like that's the only time I really practice. Now I
That's
always tell them
cool.
like I hear them arguing, like I could hear them like when they're out and they're like complaining about people, and I always tell them like, be careful, white people are learning a language, and they would
Uh-oh.
just stop and be like, it's
Right.
so
It's like
great,
that
man.
that Seinfeld where Elaine's getting her nails done at the Vietnamese nail place, but George's dad is with her and he understands Vietnamese.
Yeah, he understands.
Yeah, so he catches them. Yeah, that's funny.
It's so
I
funny.
gotta tell you, as a San Diegan, and then my family's from Colorado, that's where I am all the time. Las Vegas, Colorado, San Diego. I never go back east. I've been to Chicago twice, Washington, D.C. once, but last year, 25th wedding anniversary, I drove because all the flights were being canceled. I drove from San Diego to Orlando. My wife and I spent a week at Disney World. And I loved the South. Now, I was there in mid-November, so I don't know your real summer weather. I heard it's brutal, like humidity.
It's like
But
about
I loved
110 with
Orlando.
like thick humidity. Yeah.
Right. And I can get to Disneyland in an hour and a half from my house, an hour if there's no traffic. So I grew up just going to Disneyland. But so I was like skeptical. What's Disney World? Is this the fake Disneyland? Is this the dollar? And I freaking loved it. It's different.
Huge.
But I loved it. I loved the Animal Kingdom. I thought the whole thing was great. I was really, really impressed. And I just love the South. I'd never been to any of the South. And we went to New Orleans, that.
Yes.
What's the famous donut place? It's like the most famous.
The baguettes.
The beignets.
Beignets. I mean, beignets. I just had that last year for the first time. Yes. Right. I was just there with Ryan like last year.
Oh, really?
We drove
there. Is he a Floridian too?
He lives in Orlando too, and so we drove from Orlando for some strange reason. We decided to drive from Orlando to Dallas, and we went through Louisiana and all that stuff. And we stopped and got those baguettes. Yeah, we got all that stuff. It was awesome.
What I had, I've told this on the air before, but I love telling it because I was just. I don't know how much I'd weigh if I lived in the South, but I don't think I'm going to move there because
we don't technically consider Florida the South. South kind of stops North Florida. Then it's like, okay. So here's how Floridians look at it. We go, you got South Florida. That's Miami. That's like Caribbean, right? That's the Caribbean. Right. That's Puerto Rican. That's Haitian, right? That's all that. That's Cuban. That's all that stuff. That's Miami. All right. Then you got Central Florida. That's Disney World. That's all they call it. Central Florida is like Disney. And then you got Tampa over there. That's like Tom Brady's new town. Like, so, and then you get to Northern Florida, which is like Jacksonville and all that. Like that's part of like Alabama, even though it's Florida. That's like,
like over to Pensacola.
So that's,
and all that.
That's the South. And then anytime, like, because there's you gotta rate it by the Buc-ee's. So Buc-ee's gas station goes all the way to like Daytona.
In love with Buc-ee's. I fell in love with Buc-ee's. I have a Buc-ee's shirt. I was wearing it yesterday, dude. I made up a Buc-ee's theme song in the car driving home with my wife from Florida. Oh, Buc-ee.
Yeah.
You had to say goodbye. I was singing all about Buc-ee's because the fucking brisket sandwich.
Is that great?
The breakfast taco. I never had a breakfast taco. I didn't know. I'm Mexican. I never even heard of this thing before. Buc-ee's, guys. Today's show is brought to you by Buc-ee's.
Man, if
you don't know what Buc-ee's is, they're the southern. It's not even right to call them like a rest stop gas station. It's like the size of a Walmart.
It's a theme park.
Yeah, and they make like so much of the food there. They make the briskets there, and you get a fucking brisket sandwich the size of your head, and it's delicious. And
it's like they sell 100 different forms of beef jerky. They sell like roasted nuts, and it's so good. And if you buy a Buc-ee's cup, like if you have a Buc-ee's cup, which mine is in my car in case I do a long trip. You get like a super discount. You could fill it up with the Buc-ee's cup and get discounts on the drink. If I live close to a Buc-ee's, I would be like 400 plus easy and be proud of it.
Well,
you know,
I told you I spend all my time San Diego, Las Vegas, and then Greeley, Colorado is an hour north of Denver. Where my dad and my brothers live there. They are building the first non-Southern Buc-ee's 5 miles from my dad's, like 5 miles, 10 miles from my dad's house on Highway 25 and I-34 in Colorado, the east and the north and the east and west. They're building a Buc-ee's right near my dad's. So I'm going to visit my dad a lot more. So brisket sandwiches for everyone, you know.
It's awesome, man.
Yeah, do you eat the beaver nuggets?
Yes, I swear.
That sounds a little racy,
man.
Beaver nuggets, it sounds a little racy, but it's not what you think.
They must put cocaine or crack in those things, man. Because like once you eat, like you look at them and then you read all the ingredients are like stuff you probably shouldn't eat.
Right.
Then when you try it, you're like, I can't stop eating.
You can't.
Oh my God.
You think you're gonna eat a handful and you eat an entire bag.
And you're like,
you take the wrapper and you throw it where no one can see the wrapper because it's so shameful that you've eaten the whole bag. You're like, I'm telling my wife, I don't know what. I think I must have lost it or something. I don't know. You put crumbs all over. A beaver nugget, guys, imagine like a caramely popcorn flavored Cheeto, sort of like I think it's just crunchy fried corn, like puffy, like oh my god, they're so good.
It's fried dough filled with everything that you shouldn't eat that will
Yeah.
clog your arteries in 20
Oh.
minutes. That's what it's filled with, like fat, synthetic corn syrup, sugar, sweeteners, starches. Oh my gosh, but
Mm,
man, it's like
mm.
they better have that in heaven. That's all I'm saying.
Right. So, anyways, we both love Buc-ee's. I never heard of it till I drove to Florida last year.
Yeah.
And you remember on the, on the news, all the pilots were calling in sick, and all the flights were getting canceled. Remember?
Yeah.
And we had planned through Costco, by the way, a rent a car, 2 weeks in like a condo with its own washer and dryer and a living room, kitchen, and then tickets to Disney World. And it was like $2,500. It was such a good deal. And I kept seeing on the news, 1,000 flights canceled, 2,000 flights canceled,
Yeah.
500 flights. And I'm like, we're not getting stuck at a layover in Houston. Let's drive. So we took 2 weeks off of work. I mean, I work for myself, but my wife's an accountant. And we drove across this beautiful country. And I drove through the South and all that. And it was a trip of a lifetime. I loved it. I want to do it again as soon as possible. So,
It's
yeah.
pretty
So
cool. Like if you have the time to breathe a little bit and not like
yeah.
in a hurry, you can see some beautiful stuff, man. Chris says we're gonna take our grandkids to Buc-ee's and give them $20 and let them go. Oh, they'll go wild.
Yeah.
All right. I want a
Right.
slushy, I want a drink. I want
Okay.
they had soda in Buc-ee's. I've never like so I walk in there and
Right.
I'm like, what is Big Red? They're like, oh, you never had Big Red? You're getting it right now.
Right.
I don't care. I'm like, dude, I don't really drink soda. You're getting Big Red. You're getting the buck nuts. You're getting everything.
Okay, here's how bad the Buc-ee's addiction got. We went to a Buc-ee's on our way home, like, and they're dotted along the highway there through Texas mainly, but they're in other states too. There's a few in Louisiana, a couple in Florida, Alabama. But we stopped at a Buc-ee's and it was too early for the brisket sandwich at like 9 a.m.
Yeah.
So we got the breakfast
The
croissant,
breakfast.
the breakfast taco, and then an hour and a half later, I am embarrassed to admit, I stopped just an hour and a half after my giant breakfast to get the shoebox size brisket sandwich at the next Buc-ee's.
There's no embarrassment, brother. Everybody does it. I need a little gas.
Yeah.
I need a quarter gas. I might as well stop here.
We need a gallon. Oh, there's a Buc-ee's.
Yeah.
What fortuitous happening? You know?
A gallon. Might as well top it off.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Buc-ee's should be paying us for this show, guys.
Oh man, that's hilarious.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I definitely want to get back to Florida, and I definitely want to go back to Disney World. So I'm a big fan of Disneyland because no one does it like them with the immersion of like, I'm really here. I'm in a princess castle. I'm in the Old West. Or I'm in a pirate
you got to get
cove.
to Universal, man.
As terrible as all that woke is, I have to admit, I still like to go to Disneyland because Walt Disney is one of my heroes. I love him. I love his story. And I love, and like you doing Achromatic Chronicles, you know, and you didn't know you could, you didn't think you could, but you're going to give it a shot anyway. This beautiful book you're doing. When I was with my wife at that 25th anniversary Walt Disney World trip, it was our last night there. And it was the 50th anniversary of Disney World for like the last year and a half. And we had just gotten there when it started. So there was special music and lights. And I'm standing under that Epcot ball and it's like rainbow going and there's music playing. And it's a moment of my life. I'll be on my deathbed and I'll remember it as a 90-year-old man. I remember looking up at the Epcot ball. I'm down there, you know how huge it is. You've been there a million times. I'm looking at that ball, thinking about everything I know about Walt Disney. And he came from nothing, basically. He wasn't a rich man. And I'm thinking anything is possible. It's just some guy from Marceline, Missouri or Kansas. I forget which city or which state it's in. Some guy from Marceline had a dream, and look at all the good he did. Now I know Disney's now with the woke, but overall, the good, the inspiration. Look at what he did, and I didn't shed a tear. I think there was dust in the air. Something got in my eye, but it was quite a moment for me to be standing under that Epcot ball that I've seen since the early '80s when I was a little kid, and just wondered what that thing was as a kid. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Very inspirational, and I think that's what you're going to do. Or already doing with this, you know what I mean? Helping kids understand, yeah, anything's possible. You work hard, you trust God, you have meaning, you have purpose, you have intrinsic value. You're a miracle. You are a miracle. Everyone you watching this, hear the sound of my voice. When you listen to Jay, you're a miracle. The fact that you exist and you can be more than you ever dreamed you could be.
Agreed.
I mean that. So, someone is.
Awesome.
Chris Curran says, if you come back to Orlando, going out to Hangar Bar. Okay, I don't know
Hangar
what
Bar
that
is the Indiana Jones bar. If you love Indiana Jones, that's the bar you go to.
Oh, is
It
that like
is,
at downtown Disney or Disney Springs or whatever?
yeah. It is
Oh, okay.
run by.
Here's how much the South and Buc-ee's and Disney World affected me. Every morning, I start my day having coffee, and I watch Disney Food Blog on YouTube. It's like the biggest channel about Disney World and what's coming, what's the new ride, what's the new snacks. I started watching those videos during the COVID lockdown, and that's what made me want to
Bro,
go to Disney World.
you need to change it to Park Hoppin',
Okay.
the channel that I run.
Oh, you got? I didn't know you had that channel.
Yeah,
I
there's a
didn't know you
theme
had that.
park channel called Park Hoppin'. It's the Geeks
Okay.
and Gamers channel. And we do all theme parks. We do live streams
Ooh.
from the parks. We have an incredible team of
Do
people.
you have a Southern California correspondent?
Not yet.
Oh, well, I love Disneyland. Anyway, John says, Gabe on his deathbed. I remember Epcot. Bring me a brisket sandwich from Buc-ee's.
That's it, man.
I'm going to put in my will that they have to put Buc-ee's brisket sandwiches in my coffin. They have to fill it, just in case I'm actually not gone. It'll sustain me in there.
I hear you, brother.
Gabe inhaled the Disney pixie dust. I inhaled the beaver nuggets, and I am hooked on those. Wow. Oh. So what
Beaver
else would you
nuggets are
like to
bad.
tell us about your book? Because I want people to get it, and I lead by example, folks. I got it. I backed this book. You know what I mean? I was backer.
I
I don't know,
appreciate
300
it.
something. So what are people
basically,
going to get? Why are people going to be so happy when they get this book?
so you're gonna get a graphic novel that's over 200 pages for only $35. So I try to keep the cost as low as I possibly can. So it again, a graphic novel for over 200 pages, and you will try to figure out and see this boy here, John. How does he develop a unique friendship with a color that takes him on an adventure? It's surrounded in mysteries, and he finds out what his purpose is and what he's going to be doing, moving forward. It's relatable to everyone of all ages. We get it to an all age book, but definitely started off for, I wanted to do something for 3rd to 7th grade that they would enjoy, but now it's like, we just put it out for all ages, and you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love the story, and I hope. My thing is that of all things, I hope people really understand the value that they're gonna get with this. This isn't some 40-page novel that has 15 ads. There's no ads in it at all. Not that I'm against that. I'm just saying,
there were the Buc-ee's ads, remember?
Yes, right. Buc-ee's might want to put an ad in there now.
I thought, listen, I don't want to put you on blast, but I thought 4 pages devoted to the brisket was a little much, but it's your book. So
dude, it's a whole pull out for the brisket sandwich.
Ooh, you got
man.
that centerfold with that brisket sandwich,
and then the next page is scratch and sniff of those, so it's like it's you're done. You're done. But yeah, so it's really we're just really excited to bring this story to all generations, and I just hope you enjoy it, and you're ready for the next one.
Right.
You're ready for the next one.
Also, I haven't read it yet, but I will sum up my view of what your message is. What you're purportedly selling here is inspiration, and inspiring others is loving them. And I think when we search for meaning in life, what I have found, what I believe sincerely in my heart, the only thing in life that has any meaning is love. That's why we're here. That's why we're here on earth, to love each other, to love God. And I think when you inspire people and you help them, their broken heart, their damaged life, their despair, their hopelessness, you're really loving people when you do that. And you don't even have to know them. When you make a beautiful piece of art that inspires them, that's an act of love. So I think that's a wonderful thing to do.
And it was hard to, we didn't want to give out too many pages. The people that are helping me with this, I put on Twitter one time where I just kind of had the book and I flipped it all really quick, and they were like, "Don't do that!" Can I so many spoilers.
I want to give you my 2 cents on that.
Sure.
You can think I'm right or wrong. Most of my friends disagree with me. I'll preface it with that. People don't care about spoilers. People like to complain about spoilers, but don't watch what people say. Watch what people do. Every movie that comes out is spoiled to hell in the trailer, right? It's all spoiled. We know exactly what's going to happen. The movie still makes money. I think people kind of, not necessarily spoilers, but I think if you show some more art that doesn't spoil it, that can only help. If the art is gorgeous and it's fun and it doesn't give away, like you don't want to spoil, no, I am your father. You don't want to spoil that, of course. But you want to show
There's a couple of those
pages.
moments in this book.
Right.
So it was really hard just to make sure, we wanted to do the best, and not give away too much. They were just kind of like, oh, it's a little too much. And I originally put the story together, and a person by the name of Andrew lives in Washington D.C. He is a creative writer, editor, and he came with me and he helped me put the story together. Where he was like,
good.
this part should probably go here, and this part should probably go here, and that'll work better. And basically, what we had originally, we originally had a book with just a couple pieces of artwork, so it was actually a book. And we decided, like, I think it'd be better if we turn this into a graphic novel. And then maybe later on down the road, we could just put the book on Amazon. I could just put it on Amazon if people wanted to buy the book. So there's a lot more of like detailed stories in the, that would work well with what you're seeing. And so then we had it converted into a graphic novel, and we didn't want to put it together to where it was missing something important. I don't know if that makes sense. A lot of times, they have like these abridged versions, and you're like, man, they cut out like a big piece that just makes the story better. So that's why it is over 200 pages, because we wanted to make sure that the pacing was right, nothing felt rushed, and that and it begins to flow, and nothing is missed, in the original story that we did put together. So that took a lot of time to do, but it was well worth it. That probably took a year to get it right where it needs to be. So,
well, let's real quick now.
Sure.
I'm on Chrome and then on StreamYard, and sometimes when I open a second window, there's no sound. Tell me real quick if there's sound, and if there's not, I'll play it from Safari. Tell me if you can hear this though.
No sound.
Okay, so let me go into Safari, and I wonder what that is. Yeah,
when you share it, there's a button on the bottom that says play audio right in your share settings. Like, so when you hit the present button on the bottom of StreamYards, if you look at the very bottom, after you hit share screen, there's a share tab audio on the very bottom.
Oh, okay. I'll go look in there. Thank you. See, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's why you need smart friends.
It's really small.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I go
Trust me, trial and error.
And then where is it? I'm sorry. Where is it?
It should be at the bottom of your screen. The bottom of that. As soon as click on the.
Okay, I'll stop sharing the screen and then I'll share it.
Click on the present button. And then click share screen. And then once the share screen little box comes up at the very bottom, it says share tab to audio.
Oh.
Do you see it?
Oh, okay. Here we go.
Maybe.
Okay, I think this will work. Now you tell me if this works.
Achromatic Chronicles.
See, look at you're a freaking genius. Okay, let's watch this trailer and then we'll wrap things up, because I think we've been going almost an hour and a half, guys.
Yeah.
Guys, if you had fun, if you like Jay, if you like me, and how could you not? If you like Buc-ee's, most importantly, if you like Buc-ee's, guys, hit the like. Please subscribe. Make sure you're still subscribed. Sometimes YouTube likes to unsubscribe.
Yeah, they do.
Live streams. But yeah, definitely make sure you're subscribed. Tell your friends. Share this out. We can get a beautiful product out for people to check out. Here's the trailer for Achromatic Chronicles Blue by Jay David.
Achromatic Chronicles Blue is a graphic novel with over 200 pages that is suitable for all ages. Discover how John develops a unique friendship that is wrapped in mystery, and in this friendship takes him on an adventure where he discovers purpose and value in his world. Thank you so much for checking out this campaign, but get it quick because we're only selling this for a limited time.
There it is. That's all I can share. That's all I can share.
Okay. Let's see. I love that. I love that you're sharing that. Let me see. Hold on. I'll bring it back up real
again. Quick. I'm all new to this. I go back and watch all you guys.
Yeah.
Everything that y'all are doing and how y'all make little teaser trailers and stuff. It's freaking incredible, man. That's Blue-Eyed Scorpio. That's like he's my brother from another mother.
Bluty, is it Bluty or Blue-Eyed?
Blue-Eyed Scorpio, but you can call him Bluty. He would love that.
I thought it was like PewDiePie, but it was like Bluty or something. I don't know. Blue-Eyed Scorpio. He had fun Doesn't like anyone. You know, he's a little embarrassed to admit he doesn't like anyone. He loves everyone. So, but you know, that's how it is. Jay, thank you for being here. This was a delight.
Bro, I really appreciate your time and letting me come on your platform to promote
Absolutely.
this project, man. It means a lot to me that you took time out of your day to have me promote that. So I appreciate you.
Absolutely. I was looking
And then we're
forward
gonna
to
get you on the podcast. We're gonna talk Marvel. We're gonna talk a lot of cool stuff. You know,
Yeah.
it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be
Well, you
awesome.
know, I have no problem talking.
Yeah.
So,
Awesome.
okay. All right, guys. Well, thank you for being here. The links are in the description to get Achromatic
Achromatic
Blue.
Chronicles Blue, baby. And
Right,
thank you
check
for
that
all
out.
those in the chat that purchased the book, that bought books for donations. It's gonna be awesome. Probably around near the end of September is when I'm gonna hit the road with all those donated books and like give it out, because I'm gonna plan it to where I'm just gonna drive up to go see mom and dad maybe for like Christmas. So I'll like hit all these places, you know, wherever we gotta go, and end up over there.
Okay,
So
man. That sounds awesome. Back to book today. Subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to Jay's channel. He's got a lot of fun content over there. And we will talk to you guys. Oh, tomorrow with the great Jericho Green and Shanta Jetty, we are reviewing Cobra with Sylvester Stallone on Double Impact, 7 p.m. Pacific. It's going to be a riot, guys. It's going to be so much fun. We'll talk to you later, okay?